Welcome in, everybody. We lost Tina during that transition. I have no idea what just happened. A minute ago, she was telling us somebody in the house was naked. Then she's gone. Joey D is here. Kelly Myers and the Mouse is here. Carney is trying to reboot. Here comes Tina back in. I hope she has everybody have clothes on there? Are you okay?
No, she's not naked. Woo!
Woo! I don't know.
Not naked.
Okay. Welcome in, everybody, to another Thursday night. We've had there's a lot of weather going on in Florida. Just so everybody knows that. Joey and Carney are both down in that Orlando area, so they got weather issues going on. We're going to work through that as we go in. So let's say hello to everybody coming in. We'll start with Kelly. Says there's no rain.
It's clear blue and 22 out here. I don't know what they're talking about.
Okay. Kelly says it's good, beautiful out there. Kelly, how's things going with you, buddy?
Good. It's going very well. It's good to see you guys again.
We're 2 weeks out from the draft. It's a hot time of the year. Going to be excited to talk about that over the next couple of weeks. Kel?
Yeah. Draft. Football.
Okay.
NFL too.
All right.
Let's go.
Kelly woke Joey up. Joey D, everybody. How's things going down there in Florida, Joey D, in football heaven right now?
Well, unlike these gentlemen that are much closer to Orlando than I am, down in South Florida, we are getting nasty flooding. They had to shut down the Fort Lauderdale airport. Literally, the runways are underwater. It's really bad the last few days. Outside of that, yeah, man. Draft's coming. Super excited, obviously. We still got, news coming in every day. And as always, excited to be here.
Awesome. Love it. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale in September, actually, for a couple days. That'd be nice. Tina Marie is with us tonight to beauty up this a little bit, because if you look at her and you look at Joey, well, I'd much rather kiss Tina. I hate to say it, Joey. I'm sorry.
I hope you do.
I can't.
I hope so.
It's just, maybe if you were her headband, maybe.
You told me why, Pete. The beard tickles you. You told me you didn't like the beard.
Yes, it's so true.
I don't know where this is going tonight. What?
Absolutely, it's one of those nights. Tina, you excited about talking a little football with us again? I love having you in.
I am. I got my prep work done. I'm excited to talk about absolutely nothing that I know nothing about. So this is going to be great.
This will be interesting and fun. Welcome into the chat. Paul Engel, Jeff Condon in here. Angela Minta's in the house. Good to see you. Monorail Molly's in here. Flipper's Pole was in here. Last time I was in the room with him, he told me he had an 8-inch pole. And I'm like, what? And then he said, no, I got it's an 8-inch round, but 16-foot pole. And I said, what? And then 30 minutes later, he finished the story. And at the end of the story, I still said, what? So it was great. It was prime time with Flipper, which I absolutely loved. So let's do it. And of course, Carney will be back in. He's going in. He's having some challenges today. We'll get him back in here just a second and get rolling. So let's talk about the team real quick so everybody knows this is our broadcasting team. This is what we do on Thursday nights. We talk football year-round on this channel. Myers and the Mouse all the way down to the Diz Nerdy Network. Everybody can be found right there. Links right on the front of my channel, and you can click on them and check anybody out here to talk with them and everything that they've got going. Let me jump over here to Zero. Let's talk about this to start off. This was a topic I talked about a couple weeks ago, and I kind of wanted to revisit it with Tina here because, and it works out good that Carney is working through his stuff, and we'll get to the regular. Tina, are you aware that they couldn't wear number 0 jerseys over the last, 25 years, guys, probably? It's been that long, maybe, at least. So now, Tina, they're allowed to wear the number 0. What do you think about that?
What were they afraid of, like the open O? What's so scary about the number 0?
Well, for a long time, there's certain players couldn't wear the open O. Certain players couldn't wear certain numbers. Like you couldn't have a linebacker wearing number 2 or stuff like that. So they changed things around. They're letting the players wear more. Everybody's jumping all over these single-digit numbers. But this is going to be the first year they're going to have 0 back, the number 0 for the 2023 season. And I'd also like to point out, Tina, in case you didn't know, it's not actually saying the Kansas City Chiefs are a big fat 0. That guy's actually just wearing the number.
Oh, that's how I took it. Sorry.
Yeah, I got your text. I wanted to make sure.
Right, Tina. With the whole, he's wearing an O. No, it's a 0. Bless your heart.
I love it. Before we jump over to the news, let's talk about this for a second. It is a hot time of year. Joey, let's jump over to you. Talk about this for a second. It's a hot time of the year. XFL is in week 9 of their season this week. They go 10, so we got one more, and then they start their playoffs the week of the draft. The draft is 2 weeks away. The playoffs for the XFL is 2 weeks away. And this weekend starts the opening of the USFL season for the next 10 weeks. It's a hot time for football fans.
Yeah, I think that it's funny how that works, because even though they're all different leagues, it just gets everybody hyped for each one of the other. Obviously, the NFL is going to be top dog. Everybody's looking forward to the draft. That's a big thing. But at least at this time of year, we're getting to see football. You're getting one league that's getting ready to start like playoffs, one that's getting ready to start up at the beginning. So you're kind of, because it's always funny. Think about it. We go and we watch the draft, right? We go through the rounds. It goes through a couple of days. Everybody's hyped. Oh, they draft all this stuff. And then we sit around and we see nothing for a while, because we're all excited about the draft, but we don't get to see really any football, and you don't get to see these guys until they get into, OTAs and all that other stuff. So it's kind of good to still be able to see football. So yeah, this is like, I don't think it's been like this. I mean, this is like the best time of year, I think. I mean, aside from when the NFL is actually running, so. Am I the one that can't hear people?
I was muted for a second. Have you had a chance to take a look into these XFL and USFL, these leagues besides the NFL at all?
Very little, and only because I was trying to post stats for you in one of the streams. And it's like, in the first place, like, XFL confuses me because, for me, I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why are we trying to reinvent something that already exists, like I feel like we have with the NFL? So I'm still trying to understand the concept of what the purpose and what the motive was for creating this.
Real quick, ready? You go to your grocery store, you need detergent, you got Tide, you got All, you got this. It's all about money, and there's different opportunities for different people. That's really what it comes down to. And they're finding the NFL is using it as a training tutorial place for their referees over in USFL, and they're also using it for rule temperances over in the XFL. So the NFL is using those leagues to help them to test new things. It's also keeping people interested in football, as Joey said, year round. So those are the two key things. Carney, there's no team named Jets in either one of those leagues. Are you watching them at all?
He says he can't hear us. Not sure if we can hear him.
Okay.
So
I can hear you. Let me see. I don't think you're muted. Hold on, let me double check you. No, you got full mic over on yours. Go out and come back in.
Physically go outside and then come back inside.
Not go outside. Hold on. Put it in the chat form. Put that in the chat form.
Take it.
How about now? It's definitely something on his end that's blocking it.
No, I don't.
All right, I'm getting angry. Okay. Yeah, he's angry. I'm going to take him out and come back in. Let's get to the first topic here, and that would be topic one. Topic one on our booth now. Let me go there. There we go. Coming up. All right, let's talk about this real quick. I'm just going to kind of buzz through these here, and this is just really not for everybody to comment on, but just highlight. There was only a few moves that were smaller end, so I just want to make sure the chat was aware of them. Also, welcome into Ryan Rowe. Thank you for coming in. I saw you came in here, and Butterfly is also here as well. Carney's trying to work on his challenge. Yeah. We'll be back. Jason Nudo in here with us as well. Calais Campbell left the Ravens. They let him go. It was a money thing. He's an unfortunate challenge with that he had to go. So Calais Campbell is now over to the Falcons. Falcons have been busy this week, even though it's smaller signs. Jeff Okudah, the Falcons trade for him. He was with Detroit, I believe. I don't remember much about Okudah this year. I didn't really go into it. But they traded for him, and that was just recent. So we had that going on. And then this is for Kelly's purpose, because he's been very busy with work, and Tina's purpose, because she's very excited and she gets very, emotionally tied in when we talk about it. Still haven't traded for Aaron Rodgers. I really wanted Carney to be here for that. I was really excited to put that out there. We can come back to it. I'll make sure that we highlight it and let everybody know. So those are the three big topics that are still going on. All right, let's jump into this. And go ahead.
Wait, I got a quarter and some lint. I'll trade.
You'll trade that for Aaron Rodgers? A quarter and some lint? Okay. Let's talk about this. Odell Beckham Jr. has signed with the Ravens. Joey, I'll tell you my thoughts at the end. You guys tell me yours. Joey, you go first.
So obviously this was a big surprise. I was really more expecting him to kind of, go with the Jets only because of the possibility with Aaron Rodgers and stuff. And the thing is, I guess with the quarterback situation in Baltimore, I guess that's why it's more of a surprise since they weren't sure what's going on with Lamar. But I mean, the guy signed a monster deal. It's worth up to $18 million, $13 million signing bonus. So it's pretty good. I mean, obviously, I think it's a big get for the Ravens, whether they have Lamar or not. So the question is, and I know he's been kind of getting in Lamar's ear. Does this really change anything? I mean, it doesn't change the fact that Lamar still wants the guaranteed money and all that stuff, and Baltimore doesn't want to pay that. So I don't know if just Odell coming there is going to change that. But regardless, as long as he stays healthy, he's a good get for Baltimore. Huge get.
Kelly, your thoughts?
Agreed. I mean, I would have loved to have had him for the Chiefs, but I just don't think the money he was wanting Chiefs could do. Not this year. Here's the thing with me. You got this great talent. You have no idea who the quarterback's going to be. And you can have a lot of talent, but if you don't have a quarterback, he's a bench warmer. I mean, he'll make some plays and stuff, but I mean, you got to give him a quarterback, right?
Yeah, that's something that we still don't have now in Baltimore. Tina, your thoughts on Odell Beckham Jr.?
So I actually had no idea who he was. I did a little bit of research, and he's got a pretty good record. I think, when I was watching the press conference that they released today, and I thought it was really interesting. Like, they asked him, Ravens was not the expected team for him to go to, and I forget. I think he said something along the lines of, they asked him why Ravens, and he said, well, it's not Cleveland or something like that, to that effect or something. I thought that was really interesting. But I think I don't know. From what I can tell from his stats, I think it's a gain for the Ravens. I mean, they wouldn't have paid the money for him if he wasn't worth it. So I'm excited to see where he goes on this team.
My thought is challenging with this whole thing with Odell. He has created. First off, he's got a ton of talent. We all know that. He can make some amazing catches, but he's created a lot of turmoil and chaos everywhere that he's went. Flat out, everywhere he's went, turmoil, chaos of some sort. So that's a challenge in a locker room. That's one thing about that. I know, Kelly and Joey, obviously being big into the whole football thing and knowing locker rooms and the way things go. Then the big thing there is the Ravens have always had a good locker room. No issues, no BS. So I hope that doesn't change. The other thing is the last couple of years, he's constantly hurt. He's Lamar Jackson in a wide receiver uniform. Look at the numbers. He's got 7,000 yards up there. He's the number one receiver in our locker room right now. But the guy is constantly hurt. So biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl game, gets hurt, tweaking his knee. So I don't know if he's going to stay healthy. 1, 2, I hope it doesn't become a challenge. And 3, honestly, the only person that's there to throw to him right now is me or the beer vendor. And I think I'm about as good as a beer vendor. So until we figure out what we're doing with the quarterback, right now the Ravens are the worst team in the AFC North, and we'll be sitting there looking up at everybody else. So I'm not sold on the OBJ thing. I think, honestly, this was let's sign this guy. We'll overpay him to make Lamar happy and want to come back. That's my opinion on that. I think the Ravens did a stupid thing. Go ahead, Kelly.
You make a great point. It's a 50-50 shot. You get 30. Okay, so let's say he comes back. Now you got both of them. They both get hurt in the third game of the season, and now you've got these two very expensive players on the bench for weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a ton of money tied up for nothing. So,
but Pete, do you think this changes anything for Lamar?
I still think Lamar is hell-bent on the fact that he believes he is a $200 million guaranteed man in this league because everybody keeps telling him how his talent is so great, and he's not going to stop till he gets that. I'm still predicting sometime between now and before they say, now with the 21st pick of this draft, the Ravens select, sometime between now and before they say that, you hear, ladies and gentlemen, a trade has been made. The Baltimore Ravens are sending Lamar Jackson to the Indianapolis Colts for blah, 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 blah. And then the Ravens do two things. I still think they're going to go, if that happens, they go take Richardson from Florida, who we're going to talk about a little bit later in this stream. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I also think the Ravens go out and get Tannehill from the Titans for some type of draft pick or something because they want to get rid of him. They want to move him along,
Yeah.
and they're ready to move on from him. They're not happy with him, and I think the Ravens use him as a transitional guy, and they don't put their quarterback out there in the first year to get killed type thing. We'll see. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think Lamar signs back here. I think he's bitter that the Ravens didn't pay him what they did. I think he's bitter that the rest of the teams out there didn't come running to his door the minute they said he was available and out there. I also think he's bitter at the fact that when he was doing this whole thing and he was working on it to try to get it, that, Deshaun Watson's sitting up there with all this money guaranteed and all the owners are saying, no dice, no dice. The owner for Atlanta flat out came out and said, hey, the guy's hurt all the time. He hadn't been to the playoffs. He hadn't done anything. I mean, he flat out just hammered him. So I think all that plays into it. I think he's just a bitter soul right now. And by the way, somebody called that like 13 months ago, 14, 15 months ago, just saying, throwing it out there. So, all right.
That's true.
That's true. We'll see if I'm right. All right, next topic. We're missing Carney in here. He's having some technical problems. I apologize to that, guys. We love Carney. If you want to call in on the phone and participate, we'd love you. We'd love to have you in. I know you're working on it. If you can hear me, we'll do that. Let's talk about this. Which wild card quarterback out there is potential to be the elite guy in 2023? In other words, he's going to step up to the new level of where he can go, okay, for 2023. Now, this is interesting with the quarterbacks that were chosen for this. I did not originally pick these, so I'll just put that out there. I just kind of grabbed them and said, I grabbed this shot, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. So the quarterbacks on here are Kenny Pickett, who has small hands, Justin Fields, who has large hands. You got Jordan Love, who we've never seen his hands. And we've got Matthew Stafford, who Tina would love to see something else besides his hands, right? His tight end. He's got a good one out there. The guy catches everything. He's a good tight end. So let's talk about this. Kelly, why don't you start us off on this one?
So for me, out of this group that you have not picked, I say Justin Fields is the one that's going to, in this group, is going to be the one that steps up into there and actually is that I don't know, elite conversation. I don't know if we go elite, but I think he's the one out of this group that's actually going to step into that next level role.
Okay. You've liked how he's handled himself this past year and what you saw.
Yes. Well, not how he's handled himself, but how he's played. Yes.
Oh, Kelly. Tina, your thoughts. I know you've done a little research on the quarterbacks. I know you did our fantasy league last year, so you got to know some of these guys a little bit with our fantasy league. Tina did excellent for the first time in our fantasy league last year, and I look forward to her being better this year. What are your thoughts on some of the quarterbacks?
So doing my research, I formed, I guess, a couple opinions. If I'm going to pick one, I'll save that to the end, but I want to highlight a couple things.
Okay.
Something about Kenny Pickett was noted, like, because, I looked up their stats and everything, and thanks to Google, which tells me that Kenny Pickett has a lack of accuracy, completed under 60% of his passes in 2 games, and strike point on passes leaves a lot to be desired. And so that made me scratch him off my list because I was like, well, that's not a very good review. I didn't look up too much more after that because it kind of turned me off. So I was like, nope, he's out. So then we have Justin Fields, who actually it looks pretty good. And I don't know what half these things are that I looked up that I found. 34th at passer, great runner. 89 design runs, 70 scrambles, a 4.4 runner, which I still don't know what that means. But I hear it's great, and I think that he has a lot of prospects. Jordan Love, and I think this is the one I was really fascinated by. I learned what a red shirt means. He was red shirted in college his freshman year. He has 195 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown this season. I think he was the 3rd quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, from what I understand.
For a little bit.
And now for a little bit. And then when Aaron Rodgers was out, he stepped up, and that was what he was able to accomplish during that time that he was covering for Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of feel like he needs a little bit more experience. I think he needs a little bit more on-field action in order for him to be even, I guess, in this group of people. I want to say he's probably the least. I don't know if we're going by experience, whatever, but that's just the way I'm ranking things. Matthew Stafford, he's the oldest guy in this list, and I feel like he's been in this a long since 2021 to 2022 season. He had 41 passing touchdowns, which I think is phenomenal. I don't know look about football. I think that's great. I like what everyone's saying about Justin Fields and how that he's going to step it up. But I mean, I kind of want to root for Matt Stafford, not because he just has a great tight end, but I kind of feel like he deserves it. You know what I mean? So he's my pick.
I like it. Okay, Stafford. Joey?
Well, Pickett does have small hands, as you always like to point out. He's okay, very limited talent-wise. And Love, the problem I have with Love, he just, every time I've seen him get in, I know he's been this anointed the next and all that. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. I just haven't seen anything that makes me think he's ever going to be elite. Maybe he makes some massive jump. I just haven't seen it. Sorry. Stafford, the problem with Stafford is he's still supremely talented, even this late in his career. He just can't stay healthy, and that's a problem all in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly had the issue this past year, just wasn't the same. So he's at the end of his career. He's not going to turn into elite status, I think. Justin Fields definitely out of this group, as Kelly said, he fits the mold for that in this category with these people. Justin Fields has played pretty outstanding, carried the team pretty much by himself, and has played much better than I thought he would play. He literally could just will Chicago to win sometimes. So if it's any quarterback that's going to take that step, it's probably going to be him. I think he takes a huge leap this year. Chicago could win the division this year. Not because of him, but being a big part of that. I'm just saying. So for me, it's got to be Justin Fields out of these guys.
Well, so here's the thing. I agree. I think you guys are all on the right path here. I see that one thing I think is I saw Sanuda's comment about look at Kirk Cousins about that. The other thing that I would say is I'm waiting for Carney to try to call in here on the cell and join us in just a second. The other challenge here is I agree with everything that has been said about Stafford. Plus, he's lost skill players around him. Yep. He's lost, people have moved on and stuff like that. So that's a challenge as well. The Justin Fields to me has the potential right now to just go off and go crazy on as a elite potential. And I'm excited about that. Carney, what do you think? We're talking right now about if you had to look at four quarterbacks, Pickett, Fields, Jordan Love, and Stafford, who would you say would be the next one to step into that elite status?
If we're talking about elite, I think the only one that right now has a chance is Stafford. I think because Stafford has won a Super Bowl, which makes you kind of puts you in the elite conversation. No one else in that group has a Super Bowl.
That's true.
Also, Stafford has shown that maybe it was his team holding him back. He did exceptionally well in a very rough situation in Detroit. He played his heart out. I mean, if you ever watch clips of Matthew Stafford, getting completely abused on that field and then still getting back up. I mean, his highlight reel of getting hit and then getting back up and proving himself as an elite quarterback is pretty impressive. And on top of that, everything he's gone through in his life off the field and still leading his team to victory after victory. So he's going to be the number one. Everyone else, I think, has a shot to maybe one day be in the conversation. But, I mean, we haven't seen enough from any of the other three to even call them elite yet. I think that they have a opportunity, and they have maybe the highest ceilings. Stafford's kind of already done it. But I think right now, if you want to say who's the most elite out of these four right now today, it's got to be Stafford for me.
Okay, and those are good points. That's why I love it. Adventures by Carney on the phone going to be joining us for the rest of it. Pete, I should just let you know, right now up on the screen, I just wanted to make sure you're aware, just in case. Breaking news, Aaron Rodgers has still not been traded for by the Jets.
Oh, I know. We are a patient group. I don't know if you can tell. We're still waiting for a Super Bowl since before I was on the planet Earth. So we are patient people.
I just wanted to make sure you knew, so we're good there.
Appreciate the breaking news. Thank you.
Well, since you're on the phone with us, I'll let you take the lead on this next topic that we're going to talk about here. Up on the graphics screen there, I've got every team's NFL amount of draft picks. Actually, Carney, I'm going to let you go third on this one so that it can come up on your screen because it comes to you 10 seconds later. That way you can see it. So I'll let Kelly lead this one. Look at these numbers of draft picks, and as you look at this, just your reaction. Who's screwed? Who's in good shape? Who is probably going to do some trading? All that type of stuff. What do you think of there, Kelly?
Who's screwed? Obviously Miami. I mean, they've got a lot of good things going on down there, but they've finagled a little too much here, in my opinion. And now they're sitting down here with 4 picks, and maybe they're prepared and happy for that. I couldn't say. I think that you're going to see the Texans come out with some interesting things. I think it's going to actually. I don't think they're going to trade them off. I think they're going to use most of those. They might trade off a couple, but I think they're in a good position to make some good decisions. We'll see how they do. I think what's surprising here is the Chiefs are up in that top 7 with 10.
10 picks.
That's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. So opportunity there to put some longevity to this run that the Chiefs have been having the last few years. So that's just kind of what sticks out to me. Just starting off, I was looking at Miami going 4.
Yeah, that's not many. I'll go over to Carney now so that you can see the screen. What are you thinking as you look at that? What jumps out at you going into the draft?
I think the Titans are going to struggle a bunch. I've said this on a few other shows. I think they're very overrated. I'm not a fan of the Titans. But I mean, I don't root against them. They're not. They don't really affect me as a Jets fan. I just don't think they're going to have the best year, and they have not a lot of picks. I mean, the second lowest amount of picks. I mean, granted on the screen there's a ton of 6 4s and 5s, but with the lowest being 4, only 6 picks when a lot of other people have more. They didn't make a lot of major moves to me. I mean, besides Derrick Henry, there's no one that really jumps off the page. Love Vrabel as a coach. But I think that they're going to be in a lot of trouble this year. And obviously, and I think I say this every single year, is the Commanders. Although not every year, but Washington. I don't think 8 picks are enough. I don't think they have picks in the right spot. I don't know. I think those 2 teams are going to struggle tremendously this year, and I think a lot of that has to do with their limited draft selections on top of their off-season play.
Because of their off-season. That's good. Great call out. Tina, what's your thought looking at this?
I can't take my eyes away from the fact that the Patriots have 11 picks, and if they don't pick at least some good players out of this 11 picks, then I've absolutely lost it. Unless it just comes down to your coach sucks and Belichick has had his day in the spotlight and it's time for him to be done. I don't know, but that's my highlight is I look at all these picks and I'm like, what?
The 20 years, he loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting now that I understand a little bit more about the draft and how everything's going to work. It's going to be interesting to watch it this year, I think, to see how things kind of fan out.
I love it. Love it.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Tina. I was literally joking. The reporter asked Belichick that exact question, like, hey, why should we be hopeful about the Patriots? And he literally just said, look at the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So
it's a great comp. It's a great comp because they have won. They've had a ton of success over the last 20 years. They've had more than the 49ers, Joey. What do you think when you're looking at this?
All right, so on the low end, yeah, I think the Titans are one that I would be concerned about. Even the Broncos, even at 5, they were not very good last year, and I still don't think Russ is going to be the answer there. We'll see. Some of those teams, maybe in Miami, the thing with Miami, and I know they don't have a lot of picks, they were pretty good with who they got when they traded, when they used the picks that they needed to get the players they have. So they're good. The problem is, I don't know how much depth Miami really has right now. That could be an issue because, as we see, once the quarterback goes down, if Tyreek goes down, they're going to have problems when it comes to that because of the depth. So I think that's where it could hurt Miami. On the high end, I think the Texans are doing really good things over there, and that many picks, assuming they pick the right ones. And Sanudo's right. You could have 50 picks. If you don't miss, you don't hit on any of them, it doesn't matter. Quality over quantity. However, the more picks you have, the more chances you have. So I still think it's better to have more picks. If you got 4 picks, if you hit on all 4, you're great. The problem is the chances of that happening, probably not probable. Okay. So we'll go from there. Surprising part for me, though, real quick, the Chiefs having 10, which Kelly said, which is kind of crazy to me. And even the Niners, as far as they went, having 11, considering how much they gave up just to get Trey Lance, they have still been able to finagle these picks and have a lot of third-round picks, which you can find some really great players in those rounds. So that's where I see it.
I agree. Those are two of my highlights. Those two teams up there near the top. I think that you've got a couple teams in there that are on the verge of taking the next step with 10 and 9 and 8, even with like the Bears, with the Jaguars, with the Giants who have improved drastically, and the Lions. I think the hurting teams looking down that bottom half of that rack, as you look at it, Cleveland only having 8 doesn't matter. They can't afford to sign anybody because they paid a quarterback too much. The fact that my Ravens only have 5, kind of discouraging to me. The fact that the Carolina Panthers, who really need some help, only with 6, says something right there as well. So some unique stuff there as we go through. A bunch of middle-of-the-road teams that are kind of hit or miss that you don't know where they're going yet. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be horrible? They have middle-of-the-road picks. It's kind of funny how it works out that way. Atlanta, Arizona, New Orleans, all middle-of-the-row right there. And the one I think we should watch out for, and this is, I hate saying this because I'm terrified of the way it lays out. I was looking at the order of the draft picks and where they lie. Watch the Cowboys this year. They are laying out right now where the Texas running back could be right there waiting for them in that first pick. And if you look at the way the draft's going to lay out, what does Dallas need to get healthier, to get quicker? It's not on their offense. It's not on the spot players. It's not your quarterback, your wide receiver, your running back. It's not your corners. It's those insiders, the line guys. And that's where there's going to be a lot of meat in there for the picking. So Dallas actually scares me a little bit for this year's draft. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of Dallas, this is who I was talking about here as we go through Dallas. Do they trade up for a backup quarterback? Somebody said earlier in the chat, no, they're not trading up. This is going to probably be your number 3 or 4 quarterback. The first 2, we know who they're going to be. They're kind of laid out there. This, I think Richardson is probably going to go as a number 4 pick for me, but I want to hear what everybody else has to say. So, Carney, start us off. Anthony Richardson, you feel he's a top 10 pick? If you do, where do you see him going, and what do you think his career? Is he a guy with a ton of potential? Is he another Vince Young? What are you thinking? Carney?
Maybe he's not thinking anything.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Now his cell phone isn't working.
You guys were talking because I have a habit of wanting to yell.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And it's funny you bring this as a top 10 pick because literally I have him going in the 11th spot to the Titans. I just talked about the Titans. So they have a new GM, right? And then now they're claiming that they might be going through a rebuilding, new manager, new GM. Like they could bring in a new regime. There's also rumors, I was talking about Derrick Henry, that he might even be traded soon. So who knows what's going on with the Titans. But I can see them picking him up. They need a good quarterback. They need a franchise quarterback. The thing is, he's such a wild card, and he's so raw. Like, he can throw a deep ball, but he can't really control the deep ball. Like, he would work well in certain offenses. To me, like, he wouldn't work well in a West Coast offense because that's a lot of quick passing. He needs a team that's got a really strong running game so he can use that play action and get those deep balls out. He's just got a monster arm. But my biggest thing for him, inexperience. He just doesn't have a lot of experience as a starter. Obviously, in the NFL, he'll be completely inexperienced. So a team's really got to take a chance and take a flyer on him because he hasn't really proven it. I mean, he's doing very well. And again, he's a big physical quarterback. He has all the tools. It's will it work? He reminds me a lot of maybe like a Cam Newton. Like, it could really work if it works because he's also mobile. But we'll see what happens. So right now, I have him, if the draft stays the way it's going, I have him at 11 going to the Titans.
11 to the Titans. Joey, what are you thinking? Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of agree. I think he's going to be outside the top 10. At least he should be, in my opinion. I know he had eye-popping numbers at the Combine, and that's the only reason I think people are talking about him too much. I mean, as a college career, which was okay, I mean, he was barely completing more than 50% of his passes. That's a red flag to me. Yes, and the thing is, he has raw talent and also one of the worst words in the NFL there is, potential. Potential is a horrible word in the NFL because everybody in the NFL has potential. Everybody. Yeah. So the problem is he could be, and like Sunudo says, he's most likely going to be a project because he's so raw. He might be one of these players that as soon as he gets coached up, he goes to elite status because he has that physical ability. But I don't know. So right now, at least to me, that kind of I don't think it belongs in the top 10. But he is again, he's got potential, but you just don't know with these players. That's the problem.
Okay.
Can I add something too?
Yes.
I just had a note because it's a good point that before the combine, I forgot who, but some scout said that, and I forgot where I heard it, but somebody said none of us had him going in the first round. We had him going early second. And then the combine happened. He's like, and then he entered the conversation. I know he was always in the conversation for like the general public, but I think like a lot of the scouts and a lot of like the player personnel people didn't really have him going in the first round because they didn't know if he could play the position. He has, like, again, it's so raw and potential such a good point. Anyway, I thought I'd jump on that as well.
Okay, I like it. Kelly, your thoughts?
So, me personally, this is a 2-year quarterback, and you put him behind somebody that knows what they're doing and that can teach him and guide him and mentor him, because of the 2 words that I have heard out of both those 2 gentlemen that are absolutely correct: raw, potential. Okay? The question is, do you have a desperate enough team that's going to pull him? Because I think if in my opinion, if the Texans don't take him in the second round or the second pull, the Cardinals will pull him in the third. If they're that hungry and they're not thinking. Because they're looking for somebody to put into that spot, right? And maybe they're willing to eat it for a couple of years while they bring him up and bring him to speed and then start to build around him. But I don't think the Texans are going to do it. I think the Cardinals will pull the trigger on him, though. And I think they won't wait. I don't think the Cardinals are going to wait till later to try to get him or get another quarterback at a later time.
Okay. Tina, your thoughts after looking over this player?
So his stats for me, I know I'm all about stats tonight, but that's because what I was researching, because I don't know a lick about anything. And 2020 he had 1 touchdown. 2021 he had 6. 2022 he had 17 touchdowns. It seems to me like he keeps escalating and climbing and getting better and better. And that to me shows promise for a good player on any NFL team. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd like to see what kind of potential he would have in the NFL league.
Okay. I like what you're saying. My thought on with Richardson, one, I agree with that you guys saying, hey, that it was a combine that brought him up, because it was. He was second round thought of all the way through. That's one thing too. Second thing is, Kelly, I don't think he makes it as far as down to the second round. Because I was just looking at some stats over here real quick. I honestly think
I misspoke. I didn't mean the second round. I was talking about like the second pick.
Second pick.
I think he's going to go 2 or 3 on the picks is what I'm thinking.
I think he's going to end up at 4 is where I think he's going to end up, but I think it's actually going to be 3, and I'll tell you why I mean that. I still say Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud go 1-2. I'm still up in the air over which order it goes because they keep flip-flopping every other day. 1 minute it's this guy, 1 minute it's the next. But those are my first 2 going. I think that the Colts end up moving up 1 spot with the Arizona Cardinals. It sounds stupid. Worried about somebody else taking this quarterback because I think they're really sold on this guy. And I think that you'll see Arizona realize, okay, they want a quarterback. I can drop down. I can get a couple free picks from the Colts just to do this. They can still select. They're taking Anderson. He's the number 1 defender in the whole board. That's who the Cardinals are taking. And the Colts trade up, and they go for Richardson here with this. I still think he's a project, but some reason Irsay seems to be really high on him. So we'll see. Before this, I was also looking at my prelim, and to Carney's point, my original draft that I put together, my mock, I had Richardson going in like the 16th or 17th pick later on, in the draft beforehand. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. It'll be interesting. We're going to talk more about the draft next week, guys. I'm going to get a group in here that has a little bit of time to spend past the 1 hour time frame, and we're going to get in here and really dig into the draft next week. So we'll talk more about that. Let's talk about this topic. I thought this was kind of interesting. NFL owners voted to allow sports books to operate in NFL stadiums on game days. It hasn't happened forever. The NFL owners are finally buying into the fact that, okay, this is gambling on football is like, hey, get up in the morning and I want to have I want to have a beer and a good food on game day at my tailgate. Gambling is just the thing. And yes, Kelly, I saw your thing, so I'll let you go first. They're getting a cut as well. What's your thoughts on this?
What was that when they overturned the legal gambling on professional sports? What was that? 2018? Is that about right? Am I somewhere in the right ballpark?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was. I think they. What was it? The NFL got like $270 million out of the first year.
Yeah.
It's about money.
Yeah.
2015, the NFL commissioner said, "We do not believe in gambling on professional sports, and you shouldn't do that. It's a bad thing." Until that law got overturned, and they said, "Oh, we can make money. Oh, okay, it's a good thing now. We can make money on it. It's okay." It's strictly that's all it is, and you're going to put it. So now it's a racetrack. We're going to put the betting in the stadium.
Yeah. Well, it would be the fact that there's going to be locations in the stadium where you can go and make your bets. Not that really matters, honestly, because you can get 25 different apps right now and bet. I'm pretty sure I could call Mama Mouse. She has an app that I could bet on a soccer game. Everybody has gambling stuff. So, Tina, what's your thoughts on gambling?
Even.
I'm going to get her started. Yeah. But Tina, what's your thoughts?
I mean, everything Kelly said is pretty spot on. Those are all my thoughts too, because I had questions like, why allow this in? What's the benefit? Look at the pros and cons, and I don't know. I'm gonna feel like, yeah, it kind of gives you that racetrack feel. Can't talk tonight. And what is it gonna add or take away? But yeah, in the end, it's all about money.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not a huge gambler. I mean, there's like a fine line for me with gambling, and I don't know. I don't want to see, if I'm going to a football game, I don't want to see that stuff. Like, I just want to see people enjoying the football game. You know what I mean?
We'll try to get, we got Carney into hookers. We'll get you into gamblers. We'll get it all going along here. Joey's into drinking, and, Kelly's smoking Fiji weed. It's all crazy. We're losing it. Carney, gambling, books right in the stadium. I say yes. What say you?
Yeah, I'm with you when you said if people want to do it, they were just going to do it anyway on their phone. And I agree. This is just about money. If people are already gambling on football, why are they not getting a cut?
Yeah.
I think the other thing that really helped this is other leagues doing it as well.
Yeah.
And now it's become more commonplace. A few years ago, you would have had a lot of like, oh, Gamblers Anonymous, you're trying to, turn these people and ruin lives and ruin families. But now every sports channel you turn on is either a FanDuel or a DraftKings advertisement. It's become kind of commonplace over the last year or so. So I think it's become a little bit more socially acceptable where now they won't have, people coming with them with pitchforks. And again, it's a money grab. People are going to do it whether they want to or not. And everyone's betting on football anyway. It's become crazy. As someone who's been gambling on the NFL for over 10 years, this is very convenient for people in the stadiums. And good for them. I mean, whatever. It's convenient for the fan, and they're going to make money. Mm-hmm. So I think it was bound to happen eventually.
Well, and Joey, to Carney's point, 5 years ago, you never saw a commercial for gambling around a sports thing. Now, you can't watch a game without seeing Kevin Hart shoving it down your throat.
Yeah, this is clearly, as everybody's already said, it's just about the money. We know that. Otherwise, they wouldn't allow it. Just like Kelly was saying, I think it was 2018 when, FanDuel and all these other apps and everybody started. And even I messed with it a little bit. I'm not a big gambler to begin with. I know Carney does it quite a bit. I know you guys do. I'm not huge into it. I do it messing around just kind of for fun, but I don't really do it seriously. But yeah, I guess putting it in the stadium, especially they wanted to make sure they got more of a cut out of it, I guess, than they were before. And I guess it makes it more convenient. Not everybody's on the apps. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really care either way, to be honest. I don't think it really, and I get it. I get the whole racetrack field type of thing. But yeah, if the other sports are doing it, I'm indifferent. I really don't care either way.
The days of the bookies are pretty much going by the wayside. I think that's, people aren't using them where they have the aspects to do it. If you're not a big gambler, I always tell people, if you want to do something fun, take $50 or whatever and, put it into one of these accounts and bet $1 on a game and win 30 cents and just have some fun with it. You don't have to do it to make millions of dollars. Yes, Kelly?
Most of these football stadiums are around. So you're going to have one booking station, or you're going to have 4?
Well, they'll probably have at least 2.
I think these are
you're gonna have to spread this out. You're gonna have people that are angry because they can't get their bets made in time before the certain time frame. You're gonna have people that are mad because they lose. I think you're just asking for problems having it at the stadium. You want to do that? Do it on your phone. Do it somewhere else. Don't bring it to the American game of football, the wholesome game that it's supposed to be. I just don't think it should be in the stadiums. You want to do it on your app. You want to do it other places. Don't bring that into the stadium.
Okay, Carney?
The other thing I was going to say is just this is also getting the fan out of their seat again, and I think the sports owners want that. You already paid for your ticket. They don't care if you sit in your seat and watch. Now, when you go to place a bet or whatever you're going to do, you might buy an extra beer. You might buy an extra pretzel. You might buy a popcorn. You might be hanging out in the corridor and now you watch the game just spending money at the stadium. You've already paid for your ticket. They don't care if you sit in the seat or not.
That's a great point.
But I get your point. We're like, yeah, I mean, I know people, I've missed bets by seconds that I was like, that was a lock, oh my God. So, yeah, I'm curious how they're going to do that as well. I'm sure a lot of automated machines around the stadiums.
Well, here's the other thing. I'll say this, and I said this a couple years ago. When the NFL announced that they were allowing a team to go to Vegas, I said when that announcement came, it won't be long till there's betting on football in the stadiums because the path was coming. So interesting. Great points by everybody tonight. Great job. Final point of the night here before we talk about what we're doing is going to be the Sunday ticket. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Let's jump over here as a group real quick. I want to talk with everybody about what they're doing on their channel and everything. Ladies first. No, Joey, that's not you. Tina, what's going on over at your channel?
Just hanging out. I go live Wednesdays at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, and I'll be live tonight at 10 o'clock. We're going to be doing recap of Farmer Wants a Wife, episode 6.
Tina is so close to 1,000, guys. She's like 100 some away, and she's been working on it for quite a long time. And I've been asking a lot of my friends, reaching out, saying, hey, can you, matter of fact, Kelly, I didn't get to text you yet. Hey, on this weekend, can you shout out Tina and give her a little love? Help her try to get to that number when you're live. We appreciate it. I'm trying to get her up there. She's working
I'll help right now. I'll subscribe right now.
There you go. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate you doing that. If you're not, I love Kelly. If you're not subscribed to T. Marie's Place, you're missing out. They do a great job over there. They do a recap of the show. Farmer wants to do a wife or has a goat with a wife or something. It's excellent show. I love it. I'm glad she's doing it. Everybody over there is having fun. I have a question, though, Tina. Being the topic we just talked about, can I be in the chat and run a book on what color Joy's bra will be for the show? Almost 30% goes to Sanudo, goes to Justin.
Yeah, you have to take that up with him, not me.
He'd be happy with 30%, I think. So I'm just curious. It's just trying to create an NFL atmosphere is what I'm trying to do. If he says it's okay, we'll do it. Joey, what do you got going over with you over there? You're staying very busy with the Disney Nerdy Network and shows. Tell everybody about what you got going.
Yeah, so as some may or may not know, Disney Nerdy Network relaunched a couple weeks ago. So, Disney Villains Club on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, you got Castles and Cocktails. And even tonight, right after this, I'll be producing over there with Sammy D and Gene, I believe he's in the chat somewhere, for Disney Underground. So, which has been great. So everybody coming. Yeah, that's right. Carney's actually, I think he's coming in tonight for one
Carney's
of the.
Carney's going to be on there tonight too. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And then also on Fridays, the pop off, which I think this is the second week now. I was on last Fridays. I'm on every Friday. Big Fat Panda's on there as well. There's a whole bunch of people on that. That show's a lot of fun because that's really sports, entertainment, more pop culture type of stuff. We talk about movies. We get to interview directors and all kinds of stuff. So definitely check us out on Disney Nerdy. Definitely check us out on the pop off. It's really good. And then of course, we still have JSA Creations keeping me busy.
You got a lot going on. If moderators could drop the link in for the Disney Nerdy Network and also for the pop-off, I will be on there on Friday as well. It's a great show. Gene's got it set up and rolling with a lot of friends involved with it, and it is talking about social everything, entertainment, sports, everything. Gene's tied in with Will Smith's brother-in-law. Jada Pinkett Smith's brother is over there as one of the key people. So this is legit. It's something good that Gene's got going that could really take off, and we're excited about it. Carney, you will be over with the Disney Nerdy Network as soon as we're done over there in just a few minutes. That's why we got to be done by 9. Tell everybody what you got going on over there on Carney Adventures, ABCs of broadcasting.
Yeah. Well, I'm finally back. I've been on the road for the last 10 days. I got myself sick with sinus infection, and also got into a car accident that might have totaled my car. So it's been a real crazy week, but a lot of fun. But the content hasn't stopped because right before everything happened, I committed to doing at least 2 shorts every day. So I've been doing a short every single day to just make sure you have content daily, it was always a struggle for me. On top of that, sticking with the videos multiple times a week, whether they're edited or live. I will be live in the parks this week, and our ABC get-together for Disney's Animal Kingdom 25th anniversary is this week. So if anyone's in town Wednesday through Monday, we have a ton of people hanging out, and I'll be bringing you a lot of content.
Nice.
Plus recaps from the Masters. I just got back from the Masters, and recaps from the trip. So a lot of travel stuff coming in. So just, a bunch of hodgepodge of travel, fun, Disney, and the crazy life of Pete Carney. But I'm really excited to be on the Disney Network tonight. So go check out the Disney Network.
I love it.
Also, T. Marie, I just subscribed to your channel on both of on all my accounts and the Disney on all my accounts too. So you guys should see a little bump.
So Pete, I'm asking you, first off, ask everybody that's watching on the replay or not, check out Adventures by Carney. Huge supporter of this to my channel. Does a great job broadcasting down at the parks, following in the path of so many of those before him. So go check him out. And Pete, if you're live this weekend on one of your lives, give me a help and give me a shout out on T. Marie. Let's try to get her to 1,000. She's not that far away. I really appreciate it. Speaking of the veterans that have been there doing it before, Myers and the Mouse broadcasting from the parks. You guys are not that far away from 10K. We're hoping shortly you're going to be at 10K. Tell everybody about your channel, what you got going.
Hey, we go live from the park Saturdays and on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. But for those of you who know us, you know us. Thank you so much for being part of our show. We enjoy having you guys with us live in the parks. But I instead of talking about me, I just wanted to bring up something real quick. Today, 9 soldiers from the 101st Airborne two H-860 Blackhawks crashed a few days ago, killing all 9 medevac helicopter pilots and crew members. And their memorial service was today. And I just wanted to say to their families, God bless you and thank you for your sacrifice. And my brothers in Dust Off, you will be missed. So thank you for just a minute to say that.
I'll take it one step further. I'm going to ask everybody just for a quick moment of silence in memory of those soldiers and their families going through this tragedy. Thank you. And Kelly, thank you for your service as well. Guys, go check out Myers and the Mouse. They're broadcasting from the parks on the weekend, primarily Disney, also do Universal, SeaWorld, and more. Doing a great job. They're just under 10,000. He's the eye candy. She is the channel, Myers and the Mouse, with he and Mama, and do that. And Gene also said to check out his shorts, but please don't. He's talking about something totally that we can't do Tinder here, Gene. This is something totally different. I don't know what you're talking about there. I'm going to save that topic of this one till next week, guys, for the group when we come in next week. We'll talk more about Sunday Ticket and next week and how that's going to go. Kelly will most likely be back here in the chair with me as long as nothing goes crazy at work. We'll have our group in here with us. We'll touch base on that. I want to finish on time tonight because Carney's live over on the Disnerdy Network. Please drop that link in a couple times on the way out. I'd love to see everybody jump over there and say hello to him over there. You'll see Joey in the background. You'll see Gene on your screen. I'll be in the chat making fun of somebody doing something. And all that kind of good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I'm going to do a short entrance so we can get out of here. We will see you next week on the channel. If you loved what we did, do me a favor, hit subscribe, and help us out by sharing out the stream whenever you get a chance. We appreciate you so much. And why can't I get my screen is locked up on me here? So let me go out of here and say, hey, we'll see you on Saturday.